Yeah, it's a great challenge. I mean, we've got to step up to it, though. Obviously, not the hottest. Coming off of a loss, second straight loss, and then obviously losing our head coach. We're in for a challenge, but when you go into an atmosphere like this, you understand it's going to be a heavyweight challenge regardless.
Dak Prescott talking about tonight's game. Week 13 begins with the Dallas Cowboys at the New Orleans Saints, a recent trend for the NFL, taking a couple of the teams that played on Thanksgiving, usually the Cowboys, and dropping them in the Thursday night spot 1 week later, giving the NFL the extra bonanza of having America's team back on national TV. Just a week after 38.5 million watched the Raiders beat the Cowboys 36-33 with 28 total flags thrown. Got to throw a flag on Christopher. You haven't broken, not really.
It's been a while.
I noticed you haven't broken out the Rikers Island jacket in a while.
It has been a while. I know. In fact, I'm no joke, and this is going to sound weird. Like, as I was taking out of my closet this morning, I was thinking of you. I was going, oh, man, I'm going to hear it from Florio. I haven't worn this in a while. Here comes Riker Island's Andy Dufresne comment. So, yep, I felt like I had to break it out.
You know, it's funny. I know your rotation. You know my rotation.
Well, this is your Thursday
badly.
shirt. I was going to say this is like a Thursday shirt for you for sure. 100%.
That's right.
Yes.
This is the semi-casual, no dress shirt. We're doing double duty in the morning.
Yep.
Not that I'm complaining about it. I actually look forward to our joint Mega Picks podcast, which we'll tape at some point before noon. But yeah, this is kind of because Thursday, of all the days in the week, Thursday. I don't want to say it's my easiest day by any stretch, but there's a game on Thursday night, which always has me excited.
Right.
And we tape what I usually do in the afternoon. We're done by 11:30-ish, so I kind of have loose afternoon. Not that I sit around not doing anything, but it's an unstructured afternoon, which is kind of a nice break from the usual got to do this, got to do this, got to do this all day long.
Right. I hear you. Yeah. So, it's the start of the wind down of your week. Like today, it's my Friday, as we all know, right? So I'm excited for that. I'm going to rub it in a little bit. But my Friday is like pretty action-packed. I got a bam. Like I got it all packed in, between now and about 4 o'clock this afternoon. And then I'm done and I can start my weekend. So I'm looking forward to that. Like, hey, I wanted to ask you something about the double dip with the Cowboys. Do you like it? Because, I'll say flat out right now, I don't like it. I don't. I saw them on Sunday before Thanksgiving against Kansas City. I saw them on Thanksgiving. I don't want to see them again. America's team or not. I don't. I want to see a new team. I do. It's nothing personal to the Cowboys. I'd rather see another matchup or another team that maybe we haven't got a full, set alone, watch the game, deep dive into. I don't know. Those are my thoughts. You got any of those feelings?
Well, I understand what you're saying from our perspective because we appreciate the opportunity to focus on one game at a time. So it would be nice to be able to focus on a team that we don't focus on. Now, that said, I mean, we saw everybody the Sunday before Thanksgiving, but you're saying the Cowboys and the Chiefs were in that big late afternoon
window.
spot.
Right.
Which also had a gigantic rating, by the way, relative to the other Sunday games all year long. So, hey, the Cowboys are selling again. When the Cowboys are good, they draw more attention. They got the people that love them. They got the people that hate them. They get a lot of people who tune in to watch the Dallas Cowboys. And I don't mind it. I don't mind it because, frankly, I'm in a turkey coma during the Thanksgiving afternoon game, and I'm not sure how much of it I ultimately remember, at least a Thursday night game. It's like a normal Thursday game, and I can really focus on it and remember what transpired because my body isn't processing 3,500 calories that were ingested in about a 15-minute window. So
you're right. I mean, you doze off a little. Like I know my son got mad at me in like the third quarter at one point because he caught me like kind of falling asleep on the couch, and he's like, "Dad, are you serious? Are you seriously falling asleep right now?" So then I had to perk up and act like I was awake.
I did have to go back and watch some of it again. I did. I
did too.
It becomes a haze, and you miss a drive. And if you miss a drive, you just feel like you've completely
lost track of the game,
track of the flow of the game.
Right.
So we'll watch all of it tonight as the Cowboys take on the Saints. The Cowboys have lost 3 out of 4. The Saints have lost 4 in a row. So this is an important game for both teams.
It is an important game. It really is. And you brought up something else, too, about the Thanksgiving game, because I did watch it back, right? And, I'm Ron Jaworski, and I watched the film. The pass interference, the penalties, right? That was the big takeaway from the game from everybody. Yeah, it was a great game. It was a lot of fun, but man, there was a lot of flags. Of course, the pass interference on the Cowboys specifically. Jerry Jones calling it throw-up ball. Well, let me just say, I'm going to sound like a jerk here. The NFL failed the Raiders, in my opinion, in the game. They failed them. There was, I'm going to say, at least 5 more egregious pass interferences that would have changed the game. Probably wouldn't have let the Cowboys come back and make it go into overtime. But they chickened out, the refs. There was some blatant ones. The play after a pass interference, 2 plays after a pass interference, and I think the refs just got scared because they were, I just called it on this guy. I can't call it again. The offense just got 40 yards on a blatant pass interference. Man, am I going to give them another 40? And I don't like that. Hey, if it's PI, it's PI. And you know me, I'm into rubbing his racing, and there's going to be some hand fighting. But this was beyond that. It was beyond it. It was Deshaun Jackson touchdowns, Zay Jones open for a 40-yard gain, pulling him to the ground. There was just too many of them. And, again, it just brings me back to the reffing that's just very inconsistent right now.
It reminds me of 2 things. First, the comments that were made by Mike Zimmer about the 49ers, how they always hold, and they're not going to throw a flag for holding on every single play because you could, but you're not going to do it because it grinds the game to a halt. And that goes all the way back to the Legion of Boom. When they were in their heyday, what they were doing is they were roughing up receivers before the ball was in the air. They were committing defensive holding and illegal contact on virtually every play, daring the officials to call it, knowing that they weren't going to call it all the time. And when they did, it was 5 yards and a first down. Fine. If we're able to set the tone, intimidate the receivers, frustrate the receivers, constantly grab and hold and tug and pull and hit and shove on every play when they're trying to get open, we'll gladly give up whenever they decide they're going to throw a flag on this. And when it's happening all the time, hey, it's understanding that the officials are human too. Their perspective on what is and isn't allowed is going to change if they are settling into this mode where they're looking the other way on this stuff on almost every single play.
Well, yeah, Dan Quinn, he's from Seattle. He was on that defensive staff. So, that's kind of the approach it looked like they took. They knew they couldn't play zone against Oakland. I keep saying that this week. I don't know why. Against Las Vegas. They knew they couldn't play zone, so they had to play man. And Mike, I'm not going to disagree with you. That's what it kind of looked like. It's just let's pass interference every play, and I don't think they'll call it. And let's just, kind of beat the refs down that way. Now, of course, it still didn't help the Cowboys, but it hurt the Raiders, is what I will say. There should have been more, and it cost them some points and I think some opportunities ultimately. So sorry to go off track there, but it just came to my mind when we kind of talked about it.
Well, it's something to watch for tonight to see if that habit continues now that Quinn is taking over for Mike McCarthy as coach of the team for this game, because McCarthy has COVID and won't be available to play, and a lot of other shuffling happening on the coaching staff as they try to get ready and go forward. The good news is a very limited number of players have been affected. Amari Cooper has been activated off the COVID list after missing a couple of games and having some symptoms this week. So, the show must go on. The show will go on, and it will impact the Cowboys from a coaching standpoint. But Sean Payton's already been there from his perspective. As I said earlier in the week, he's going to shed no tears for the Cowboys having their coaching staff turned upside down by COVID. Payton's already been through that, and you just have to deal with it, and you have to get ready, and you have to go.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.